Today's topic, how to review for our unit test. I've got a lot of tips and tricks here, but I first want to show you where you can see even more stuff than I'm going to share in this video. Okay, we're looking at the Stream tab for my Integrated Math 1 class. If you're in Math 2 or Math 3, it's the same thing as far as our Google Classroom goes. So what you want to do is click over to the Classwork tab, scroll down, and you'll see Test Support. I've got three things here. The test and quiz retake policy. If you want to check that out, it's right there. I have test study strategies. That's this PDF. And I have test taking strategies, which opens up this PDF. Significant portions of what I'm going to talk to you about next come from these two documents. I'm hoping that you're not feeling too nervous about the test. I think if you just study effectively and calmly and consistently, and that you do study, I think you're going to feel better, more comfortable, less anxious, and B, you're just going to do better. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is reviewing the material. I'm going to mention three main ways to review the content of the course. I post review assignments for every chapter in the book that we covered in this unit. If nothing else, you want to do those review problems. And you want to make sure you understand the problems that you mess up on at first. Okay, so that's like the core of preparing for one of my tests. Secondly, you can look over old quizzes. Lots of questions on the quizzes will show up in slightly different forms on the unit test. So reviewing old quizzes is good for that reason. It's also good because you'll see the types of mistakes you made in the past, and you can address those mistakes and figure out how to not make them on the unit test. Finally, you can re-watch old lesson videos. If there's a certain topic that you just never quite got, you can go watch that video and see if that makes it work for you. You're probably not going to have enough time to watch all the videos, so I don't think that's a good strategy. Okay, so some general study tips. Sometimes it's good to study with a friend, get some help. Sometimes 2 or 3 people together can get through a lot more material and at a deeper level than one person alone. There's one pitfall though. Don't get caught socializing. I notice that for teenagers, sometimes it's kind of tough to avoid talking about all the other stuff that's interesting to you. So if you do form a study group, be sure that you use that time to study. I also offer extra help sessions. Please feel free to attend. One tip, I don't do review lessons during extra help. I just answer questions. So if you show up and just say, I don't understand chapter 2, I'm going to say, create a question, and I'm going to move on to the next person. So if you have a list of questions, that's much better for you. Another tip, get enough sleep the night before. Don't stay up till 3 a.m. studying for this test. If you're half asleep, didn't get enough sleep, you're just not going to do as well. Here's another one. Eat breakfast. Make sure you get enough food in your system to start your day. Your body needs that to function. And guess what? Your brain is part of your body. So if you don't fuel up, your brain is kind of chugging along and not doing so well. So eat breakfast. If your quizzes or your test is after lunch, eat lunch. Be sure you do that. Okay, a couple tips for taking the test. These are tips to keep in mind while you're actually sitting in the room taking the test. First, look the test over. Flip through all the pages. Make a plan. Take a look at what kinds of questions are there, which ones you know you can do like that, and which ones you know you might struggle on a little bit. It's a good idea to have a picture of the whole test first before you start cranking through the problems. Also, read the instructions on the front page. Second, do the easy problems first. Most of my tests have 3-point problems. A point is a point is a point. So a 3-point hard problem is worth the same as a 3-point easy problem. So make sure you get the easy problems right, okay? Pace yourself. Keep track of the time. Don't spend too much time on one problem. Every year, someone comes up to me and says, oh, but that challenge problem for the first part of the test, I spent 30 minutes on it. That's a mistake. You spent 30 minutes on only 3 points for the test. That's too much time spent on one problem. So if you find yourself struggling, step back for a minute and go, you know what, this looks like this might be a long struggle, and just move on. Go to a next question. Remember, if you show me some work, I will give you some partial credit. Finally, stay calm. Some of us experience anxiety when we're in a test environment. It's natural. You are sitting for a test that counts for the grade, but getting all anxious and upset and panicky doesn't help your brain do math. So favorite trick that I have for that is just take some deep breaths. If you need to step outside the room for a minute or two and take some deep breaths and breathe the outside air, that's fine with me. You just have to ask, okay? Last topic, cheat sheets. If you're in my class, you know that I allow a page of notes that you can prepare ahead of time for use during the test. Just to be clear, it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, both sides. Some people prefer to bring 2 sheets, one side, that's fine. Second thing, it must be handwritten. You can't prepare that on a computer and make it all micro-sized type and try to throw the whole textbook on the cheat sheet. It's gotta be prepared by hand. What to put there? Theorems, rules, laws, procedures, all the kinds of things that you needed to solve those problems. Example problems. If you struggle with a certain type of a problem and you just need a roadmap, you can put one of those problems on your cheat sheet. You won't see that problem on the test, but you might see one that's kind of like it. So having an example problem will help you walk through the test problem. Finally, step-by-step instructions for certain kind of procedures like completing the square or other procedures that like word problems. Like in my lesson videos, I give you a step-by-step method for solving word problems. If word problems are tough for you, writing those steps out on your cheat sheet will help guide you through those problems. Okay, that's all I've got for you. I wish you luck studying. I want to say one last thing. The unit test is a big part of your grade all by itself. So while on normal nights for homework, I'm okay with people asking for extensions ahead of time, and I'm okay if you don't quite have so much time or energy because maybe you have an English paper due or something else. I'm fairly flexible if you don't get it all done. But now you have a big thing for my class, so I'm less flexible. You can't get an extension on reviewing for the test. It is coming. So tonight you need to prioritize your math unit test over your other classes. And that might mean you have to ask somebody else for a little extra time to get a certain thing done that you might be working on in that class, okay? So please reach out to me if you have any more questions. Otherwise, good luck studying, get enough sleep, and we'll see you in class.